Macaraig, and I like to make music. I like to play the piano, I play a little bit of guitar, and I also make candles. Yeah, that's right, candles. My parents actually had me play the piano when I was young. I started taking lessons when I was 5, and I quit for a while, then I started again at like 7, and I've been playing ever since, but I only quit piano lessons at around a year ago maybe. I like to play every day. Sometimes I play stuff from my lessons, but usually I just improvise. But what I've been doing recently is I take like samples from vinyl records, and I've been making a couple experiments in electronic music, specifically 90s hip hop. So basically what I used to do is I used to go to the library because they had this USB turntable where you could like borrow some of the vinyl and then download it as an MP3 on the library's flash drive. And what you could do is you could just take that, I take it and put it into Audacity, and I take a certain sample, a certain part of a song that I like, and I look for the drums, the horns, and I just kind of sequence them on this thing called FL Studio. It's pretty amateur, but it gets the job done.
And then if I put these together, it would probably sound like... would sound like...
Oh yeah, like I said, I make candles. It's not the most interesting job in the world, but you know, I do it. Yeah, a couple years ago in freshman year, there was actually a really big blackout. It was a little longer than the average blackout, it must have been 3 hours. And I needed a source of light because I was still doing homework. And my parents were using the flashlights to get to the breaker box, so I was pretty much out of luck. So I thought, wouldn't it be great if I had, you know, something that didn't require electricity? So I thought of candles naturally, but you know, I didn't have one on hand. And so I decided to look up how easy it would be to make, and it turns out it's actually pretty simple. First I get beeswax or paraffin wax from the store. I tend to prefer beeswax because it has a nicer odor, but paraffin wax is odorless. What you do is you melt it using an electric heating element. You wouldn't want to use a flame because there's a risk of the waxes combusting, and you don't want that. You don't want to start a fire in your house. There's also the wick, which is what drags up the liquid wax up to the flame to make it burn. Then it's just about as simple as melting the wax and then pouring it into your container or mold, whatever you want to use, and then inserting your wick. But what you want to do is weigh down the wick on the bottom so that as the wax starts to liquefy, it doesn't make the wick float to the top. I just think it's a great feeling when you know that something that you're using is something that you made with your own hands. I think that self-sustainability is a civil virtue.